Welcome back, video creeps. Week 3 means episode 3 of the Chucky TV series. And just like we've done for the last 2 episodes, I'm going to give you my rundown and thoughts of this past episode. I'm excited, I'm happy you're here, you look dope, and I'm so pumped to hear what you guys thought in the comment section down below. So make sure you like this video, subscribe if you're new, and hit the notification bell so that way you know whenever I drop new stuff. And let's get into this thing. So right off the bat, one of the first things that I really just chef's kiss love about this series is like the multitude of new ways that they are positioning Chucky in this thing. Like this episode starts and he's like lounging, kicking back. Like we've never seen Chucky just lounge. You get the sense that the team in this show like really challenged themselves as far as positioning Chucky in new ways that we've never seen before. And I think that's one of the things that keeps this really fresh for me. Multiple times in this episode, I'm like, hey, they've never done that with him. That's cool. There's a heavy focus in this episode on Jake the Killer, what Jake would look like as a killer, what he could potentially do and learn if he was to follow in Chucky's footsteps. And y'all, I liked it. It's fun to see Chucky romanticizing murder. We've seen in other films that it's something that kind of matters to him. And maybe he missed the mark with Glenn and being able to be a teacher to a pupil. So it's awesome to see this in Jake.
I like a little killing now and then. What's wrong with that?
And when the characters on screen are enjoying something, you're enjoying something as the audience. If Chucky is in love with killing, like I guess I am too. We get another really interesting Chucky logo in this thing, which is rad. Like, cause now I'm starting to piece together that every episode in that title, they're foreshadowing something to come. In the first one, it was all dolls. And then later on, we see Jake's father destroy his doll sculpture. In the second episode, the Chucky logo is made out of knives. Now we get that really rad maid falling on the knives kill. So in this one, it was all just like tools that you would find in a shed. And wouldn't you know it, there is a scene later on in this where you see Jake like playing with the tools. I'm gonna get back to that because that's a great fun scene, but I did want to point out that foreshadowing in those scenes is a lot of fun. The detective is still on Jake's case. That is not swept underneath the rug. That is something that is happening in this show. But we have the teacher right there to defend Jake, saying like, hey, I don't talk to cops. Fuck the police. Now in the online community, something that I'm noticing a lot of talk about is that many people suspect that the teacher is Glenda. I personally do not see that theory, though I do see that theory when it comes to like Devin being Glenn or something. Like there's certain things that make sense, and I mean, if you can put your soul into anyone, it's not completely unfeasible to imagine that, yeah, maybe that is Glenda, maybe that is gonna be Glenn. Like, we don't know. All we know is that they have spoken about the children once, and that is something major. Is that for something? I guess we'll see. I hope it is, but we don't know. Something that I missed in the last episode, but this character comes back for this one, is that we get a cameo from the Doctor in Cult of Chucky. I guess maybe I just didn't realize that that's who it was because he was in costume, but you see him like in full, like that's just him as a person. And that was rad. This franchise is no stranger to pulling in old actors to play new roles. So it was cool to see that continue in this episode and see a return of the Doctor. So now this time he's playing Lexi's father, and he's supposed to be a totally different guy, but like, I don't know, that stuff that he did to Nika is hard to forget. We spend a lot of time with Lexi's family in this episode as well, and we actually get to take a deep look at Caroline, Lexi's little sister. But I am wondering if Lexi's little sister Caroline might be on the spectrum. I have best friends whose kids have autism, and there are certain behaviors that are super reminiscent of how Caroline was behaving in this episode that maybe conjures up that thought. Now again, I'm not positive about that, but that is something that I observed while watching this episode. Now in this episode, we also see Lexi apologize to Jake, obviously for her own personal gain. But you know, she does do it, so hey, there's that. And there's this great scene where that foreshadowing from the Chucky logo is brought to fruition. We see Jake and he's like playing with like all of the different gardening tools, which I'm not sure if that scene with him doing the thing was supposed to be an homage to maybe The Burning or even Friday the 13th. But I mean, in the last episode, if we got an homage to Halloween, like, why not have an homage to The Burning or Friday the 13th? I think that'd be rad. I had a lot of fun with watching Jake attempt to kill Lexi in this, even in that same scene where she has her back turned and he has like a fucking, I don't even know what that was, man. He's like thinking about it and he's like just about to drive that thing in her head. Like, I was fucking thrilled. I was in there. I was just like, ooh, is he gonna do it? Is he not gonna do it? I did have suspicions that it wasn't gonna go down, just because it is very hard for you to turn your main character into a murderer and then also still have empathy for that character, or not imagine that there'll be some kind of consequence for that character. And Jake is a good boy as far as we know, so it would really shatter and destroy his character to become a murderer, in my opinion. So fat chance that that'll happen, I think. But taking the ride with him to see if he actually would do it, that was fun. Another family that we get to revisit in this is the family of like little detectives. Little Devin, and we learn that he's gonna clear Jake's name. Meanwhile, the mom is seeing if that's one that she needs to drag through the mud. We get a slightly more intimate moment between Devin and Jake in this episode as well. But again, like, I just don't know. I don't trust Devin for some reason. I feel like we're gearing up for a major heartbreak that's gonna happen. And maybe that's gonna be the thing that's gonna like push Jake over the edge. I don't know. We know that he has a vetted interest in Jake. We know that he's willing to do nice things to help Jake. But what are his true intentions here? It just feels like a torpedo in the water of badness. A lot of like little spicy things were planted in this episode as well. Stuff that we've been seeing again and again, and now it's kind of like things are getting a little bit bigger. Like the flirtation between Lexi and Oliver, that was real. She's all dancing up on him and stuff, like a little sleut. Junior's in the corner of the party just drinking, looking at this girl like he's tight. That's another rumor that I've heard going around online that I don't know how much I believe. People seem to think that Junior might also be gay, and maybe that's what's causing a little bit of friction between these two characters. I don't really give myself to that thought process. I don't see that personally, especially because it does seem like he is engaged with Lexi. He does care about her. We do see moments where he's jealous of her and Oliver. Though moments like him not knowing what to do with her while laying on a bed and kissing is also like a thing. One would think that he would be more interested in that interaction, but he is a teenager. Maybe he just hasn't had all that much experience. But a lot of those little seeds, we're starting to see them sprout. For instance, when the teachers have that meeting with the parents and the guardians, everybody's there. Even the mayor is there on time. She could figure it out. Jake's aunt, not so much. Maybe she had a little bit of dick in her hair. Who knows? I see you. I think Lexi is a really complex character in this episode as well. Lexi has genuine moments where I do enjoy her character. By the way, that actress, by the way, is phenomenal. Like, she is doing a great job at what they are asking of her. She might be another like doctor for me. Like, if I ever see her in anything else, I'll be like, that Lexi. There's a moment in this where she's singing "Don't Fear the Reaper," and like it's beautiful. Why are you making like, stop toxically making me care about you when I know you're awful? The humor is there in this episode as well. Chucky is as funny as he's been. He's just as charismatic and charming as we like from this character. That moment, I thought that they were gonna play it up way more, where Chucky's like stuck in the bed because he's like tucked in. But they let that go just long enough before he brings up that knife and cuts himself out. Fantastic. Super funny. And then he goes downstairs and like kills Oliver by mistake. Also very funny. And great just to see Chucky like rationalize it in his own moment, where he's like, well, this isn't who I meant to kill, but you're here, so sorry. That silent party thing with that killing happening in the background was a really cool idea too. I really love that. It's nice to see Chucky just stabbing and stabbing. Like, it's nice. It's fun. I don't understand the weird like silent party thing though. Like, is that a Gen Z thing? Is that what you guys are doing? What's the I see the like courteous properties of it, but it's a little weird. Like, I don't know. I go to a party, I want to get nice and loud. Because that's what Jennifer Lopez told me to do in the early 2000s. We get some flashbacks to Chucky's youth when he's just a little kid. We learn that his father was murdered by like a town serial killer. And so to like appease the killer, he like kills his mom, like, hey, look what I can be cool too. And that's the sense that you get when you see little Charles Lee Ray like looking up at this killer. He has like anime eyes. He's just like, you're so cool. Another episode where we did not get legacy characters in there. Another episode where I'm not completely upset about it, but I am getting antsy. We have 5 episodes left. And we need Nika back, Kyle back, Andy back, Tiffany back. Like, we got people who I want people that I'm not expecting to see back too. Like, I want the Silva back. I want fucking Jesse from Bride of Chucky. I want him back. Whatever is coming for us in this thing, I am here for. I am excited. I am ready. Let's go. This thing could really go in any direction it wants now, and I am really excited for it. With Jake maybe continuing to be a killer, maybe he's gonna feel remorse now, we don't know. I almost forgot to talk about like this ending with Lexi as well, with the place going on fire and him like gonna go kill her. Obviously Lexi is not dead. We're gonna see her in the next episode. We hear that paramedics are on their way to the house, so of course it's not like, let's not play that game. Lexi is alive, and it's gonna be more fun for us as the audience to see her have to now operate knowing that Chucky is alive and he's after her. How is that going to reflect on her relationship with Jake? Now that Oliver is dead, is she and Jake going to get closer? And now that's going to be a point of contention for Junior, who is already like super jealous. We know that Devin has a little stockpile something on Jake. Are we gonna see this detective mother snoop through her son's stuff? That doesn't sound like a detective, right? What's gonna happen? I'm so engaged. I'm so locked in. Everything about this show, it's just aces across the board for every episode. So I'm extremely excited for episode 4. But what do you think is gonna happen in the next episode? Whatever you think, let me know down in the comments below. Are you enjoying how this show is going? What do you expect to happen, and what do you want to see? Let me know down in the comments below. And again, if you haven't already, make sure you hit the like button. I'm still shadow banned like crazy. YouTube does not want to promote my stuff, so please make sure that the notification bell is on. I put out a post and it says that a lot of you guys aren't even getting notifications, so sorry about that. That's not me. If I could have my merry little way, I'd be right on the promote page, but I ain't got that kind of pull. So make sure that your notification bell is on, and if you're new here, hi. Hit the subscribe button so that way we can hang out again. And for anyone who digs what I'm doing here and wants to support the channel, a link to my Patreon is down below. I will catch you guys on the next video. Peace, video creeps.
Some roses are red and some are blue, so please take a bunch here just for you. Besides, they were on sale 3 for 2. You're the kind that deserves a bouquet. You deserve a bouquet. You deserve a bouquet. Cause you're my Patreons, yeah, my Patreons. Rebecca reviews a Kyoko, Larry Sherman, Cory Stewart, Car Wounded and Butcher's Grindhouse, Florida at Store, Michael Andrews, Premier, Survivors, Skills like Voorhees, Joe Adrian, Leilani, Little Lady Horror, Jessica Rabbit, Lila, Rachel Marie Prince, Giselle, Bittersweet Vegan and Elle. How can I tell you thank you all for being my Patreon?